So I decided to go ahead and put the iron farm back on again. And it seems to be working well. But I have a question. How in the heck did he get up there? I don't understand. There's like no clear way he could have climbed up onto this roof. So I have no idea how this golem managed to get there. Either he has some sort of parkour master golem, or there's some weird stuff going on. All right. But he's not the only roof dweller that we have. We got this guy hiding up here. Yeah, you. What are you doing? Why is everyone on my roof? Not to mention, I also keep hearing his llama, and I'm not really sure where it is. I killed the two that spawned with him earlier, but I keep hearing one of them. Hey, welcome back to another episode of NerdCraft, and today I've got the itch, the addiction, if you will, to redstone. That's right. We gotta build lots and lots of farms. I can't help myself. I have to keep building automation and more farms. So yeah, aside from all of our roof dwelling visitors, I've been preparing to build an automated tree farm. And well, during the process of gathering items for my automated tree farm, I realized that I don't have a lot of redstone left. I even went mining and I broke down what I had, and I didn't have a lot. So yeah, I may have built a raid farm to take care of the redstone problem that we have. So we'll go check that out in just a sec. But I also decided to gather supplies for a few other farms. So starting things off, the main event is going to be the Universal Tree Farm, which this design I found by LXYN or LXYN, I guess. Let's be honest here. I tried designing a Universal Tree Farm myself for several days, and it is not easy. Let me tell you. I got a few things to work. I had the dupers just destroy themselves, and just at the end of that 4 days, I was like, okay, I don't have time to spend on this anymore. I need to just take something that works and go with that. So this design's really unique because not only does it do your normal log types, your oak, your spruce, birch, jungle, acacia as well, but it also does dark oak, which is kind of ridiculous that it can do all that. It also can do mushroom, but you can't really get the blocks from that. I don't know why you'd make more mushrooms, but if you wanted to, you could. So there's that. So lots of supplies. Very expensive, I might add. So that was that. So we're going to be putting that together. But, of course, to feed a tree farm like this, we're going to need tons of bone meal. Also, that's not going to do the nether tree, or the nether stems. I guess they're not really trees. They're supposed to be giant mushrooms. But so for that, the nether side of things, we have the nether stem farm by ncoylyer, and this one looked pretty cool. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of the design I did last year on Collusion MC, where it was more of a manual farm. This is obviously a lot more fancier than that, but it kind of same principle where you put, the warts down, and then of course it grows into a tree. Except mine was completely manual, except it basically made a giant cube of stuff and you had to go chop it down. This will use TNT dupers and it'll do that. But of course, to feed this, then you need your nether fungus farm, which you got to generate all the fungus for that. So that's another build altogether, also by ncoylyer. And then, of course, to feed all that, we're going to need a ton of bone meal. And that's where we get our moss farm V3 by Dark. That is going to take care of this. I'm going to be building the 6-layer version, I think. I chose the 6-layer version of that. So lots and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of lava involved in that, too. So before we get to all of this, I'm going to go ahead and let you check out the raid farm we built, a second raid farm I built. But first, let's check out some of the improvements we've been doing in the basement here in our storage room. So I decided to go ahead and build a sugarcane farm for the heck of it because I was tired of flying over to Lank's place to get rockets. So this has been slowly collecting sugarcane. And it's kind of hard to see, but it does actually go 4 layers. And with this, I have, for some reason, overflow protection on it. So if this does end up filling up, these pistons will stay out and it won't grow anymore. So we won't get any sort of backup of that. Although, honestly, at the rate it's going, it's so slow anyways that it doesn't really matter. But this is enough to sustain me for rockets. I mean, I already have several sources of gunpowder already with the gas farm and everything. Let's go ahead and check out our raid farm that we built. And I have a story that kind of goes along with that. Okay, what is going on with things being on my roof? Seriously. So now, we've got this guy up here, somehow. And then at a raid party spawn up here as well. So we had somebody. I can hear one of them. Oh, he's down there. But they were on the roof as well. Oh, he's trying to get rid of this guy. I need people to get off my roof. So, on our flight over here to the old raid farm. So originally I was building the raid farm in the ocean, and I wanted to build ENXO4 stacking raid farm. That was the design I really wanted to put together because it looks awesome and a big fan of ENXO4. However, I ended up not doing that because, well, I actually did build it and it didn't work because this is a paper server that we're running, and paper just doesn't play nice with his stacking raid farm. The problem was that the villagers wouldn't regain their workstations fast enough. And I honestly don't know how to fix that, so I just didn't. So anyways, so what we have here is a river that I cut out a big portion of the mountain, both on this side and this side using TNT, and then of course kind of carved it down because I didn't want any edges where stuff could spawn in. So that gave us kind of our own little makeshift ocean, if you will. It's got, I think it's about 80 blocks on each side approximately. I should have done it in a sphere, it probably would have been less work. But the reason I wanted to do this is because you have to get the bad omen effect first, and of course we have our pillager outpost right there to do that. Another thing you might notice is we can see quite a bit of ways away. And no, we didn't up the server render distance or anything like that. This is thanks to the wonderful Bobby mod. So thanks to DocM77 for pointing that out. It's a pretty cool thing that actually caches the chunks. So you can have your view distance say as 12 on the server, but I have mine set to 24, so I can see quite a bit away. I had it 32 before, but that was just kind of hitting the FPS a little bit. So anyways, this farm right here, you may have recognized it, is Ray's Hero of the Village farm. So it's your kind of standard raid farm. You basically AFK up here, and then on a timer you get dropped down this shaft and then back up again, and it spawns the raid up top. They fall down and collects all the items. Now, I didn't necessarily take advantage of the Hero of the Village part because I thought that that would be kind of a waste of effort. Normally you would have some villagers inside this area here, but I didn't want to cart villagers all the way over here because honestly what it would be for is they would, when you do get the Hero of the Village effect, they basically throw items at you. So if like we had masons there, we get some clay. Let's go away from that portal. If we had Fletchers, we get different tipped arrows. You can get like wool, books, stuff like that. So it just wasn't worth it. I didn't need clay. That, I mean, honestly, I can go harvest clay a lot faster from the rivers and stuff, or even like a, you know, say a lush cave or something like that. So yeah, you basically you put yourself inside here. So in here, and then you would take your sword and slash way up here, killing whatever is coming near with your sweeping edge. And then once we hit a timer, we should be dropping down in a second here. And that keeps it going. So I've run this overnight and it works okay. Paper still doesn't do a great job with keeping bad omen effect. So this design is more stable than the other one, but I did end up, I think, losing the bad omen effect after a few hours. And I think that's because not all of the mobs drop down from the top there. And so if you get unlucky and, you know, the one carrying the banner doesn't end up dropping down, then you don't get bad omen. So basically, yeah, you get dropped down, get kicked back up again. And meanwhile, you'd be like hacking away. We've gotten some pretty good stuff from it so far. I've cleaned it out a little bit. I don't think we have any. Oh, well, we still have tons of emeralds left, so that's a good thing. Redstone, sadly, not a lot. I think I got maybe a few stacks of that. Totems, I am swimming in. I have way too many totems and heads. I've got more mob heads than I know what to do with anymore. So, yeah. And this storage setup here was kind of something similar that we had also in Collusion last year. It wasn't my raid farm, but I think, I can't remember who set that up on, I think maybe in Goma that set that up last season. And basically just filters everything down. I've got several for redstone, which honestly, considering how many witches we get through here, which is not many, I probably don't need that many. This will never ever fill up. I could maybe use it for storage, but I don't know. We got 3 rows for junk, and then anything that's overflow automatically gets destroyed in lava. So kind of cool. And then don't really need to like fly over here. I just want to because it looks cool with the, you know, extreme draw distance we have now. But I do have a nether roof portal that saves us some time. And this is right by the gas farm, actually. And it's so nice having the shaders on in the nether here, because I can actually see where I'm going. Without it, there's too much fog, and it's ridiculous. And then, of course, along with, you know, the raid farm, I went ahead and actually put a shop in our building that we built last episode. So we have the Emerald Raiders, which is on the first floor here. And that's got our totems, our saddles, and then, of course, emeralds were 3 stacks for a diamond, 2 for 1 diamond, and then 1 diamond each. I mean, honestly, we could probably give away more, but I want people coming back, so so there's that. And then I'm not really sure what we're going to be putting in on this floor yet, but you know, wood is going to be something. I mean, we're going to have logs here pretty soon. Space is not really big enough for that, so that might be something else, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so I'm going to start tackling some of these projects. I think first things first is we need to get a moss farm going, because moss is going to be needed for pretty much everything else. So we can get this started, and that can start generating moss for us. The other thing is I have to figure out where I'm going to build all this. So we're going to figure that out, and let's see the finished farm. Ah, yes. Where do we hide our devious experiments in redstone? But none other than the Undermountain. Actually, this is where I hide redstone that I don't want to create a facade for because, well, it's really pretty. And 2, it's also really big and doesn't really fit with the aesthetic of my steampunk builds. But anyways, I went ahead and created a few of those farms that we were working on. So I started off, of course, with the 6-layer moss and bone meal farm, and that is chugging along right now. I actually just fed it full of some of the drops I got testing the farm over there. So we have our warp blocks, but this generates a ton of bone meal, and then of course everything that is generated, all the different moss blocks, come down and get composted in 40 composters. That's right, 40 of them. And then those, of course, then feed into this giant chest system, which feeds into these dual shulker loaders. And I've got quite a bit already, but I did end up having to load up this entire farm full of bone meal. So there is at least 20 shulkers already just for that. With this nether stem farm, we also need to get nether fungus to grow up into those giant fungus trees. And this farm as well by ncoylyer is what I needed to do that. And so right now we have this set up for the crimson wort blocks, or crimson fungus. Getting all my different nether stuff confused right now. So kind of like your typical like flower or wort farms, you know, basically shaking platform. This bone meal's some nylium that's in the middle there, and then of course that, you know, creates all the different sprouts and nether plants. It shakes back and forth. And because this is farmland, and his actual design that he built uses mud as well, but this is a 118 design since we don't have mud yet, at least not for a few more days. And so this allows it to be collected by the hoppers below, because farmland is not a full block, as is mud and soul sand. So we've got that, and this runs really well as it generates a ton of different warts, and I've been taking all the nether sprigs and stuff from that and feeding it back into the composter system over there for more bone meal. So we've got some wort fungus. I've already taken about half a chest out of that, and then a bunch of the crimson fungus, and I think I've combined it all together. And then if we want to switch it back and forth, we just have to switch out the nylium, which we can do. So this farm right here is, of course, his, like, it's really can't be understated how fast this farm is. It is absolutely ridiculous. So I just ran a test checking it out, because I may or may not have blown up one of the TNT dupers during this test, but easy to fix, so that's a plus. But within 5 minutes of running this, full double chest, almost a second full double chest, and some shroom lights. And of course I took all of the wort blocks and threw those back in there to compost, and this creates kind of this giant cube of wort blocks up top here. So when we're kind of done using the farm, just go back in, manually take that out, and that gives us some more compostable material, plus also more shroom lights, because those grow up in the center, so you don't really get a lot of it from normal operation of the farm. Bone meal goes in the front, the fungus goes in the back, and I go right here. So we basically have to crawl inside, and I'm gonna pop myself down here, and I don't have any fungus at the moment, so we're gonna grab some out of here. But normally this system will feed some to me as I'm going. So what we can do is we flip this lever and aim right here, and it's gonna get loud very fast. So let's drop those block sounds down so that we're not killing your ears here. All right, and here goes nothing, and it's well, not nothing, a lot of stuff. It's going to be moving fast, and we're going to be growing trees fast. So let's run this for, let's say, about a minute. All right. Well, the good news is everything's still intact. So I assume that was just a minor hiccup, probably some server lag last time when those broke. Got a few things on the corners here, but let's go check out what we received. So, of course, everything gets pushed through this elaborate system. Doesn't push all the blocks up top. You'll notice we're not really harvesting those because not all the trees grow to that size. So it's mainly the blocks down the bottom here. And with that, they get pushed into these near these 4 blast chambers, and then that takes care of blowing those up and blowing some of them out of the farm. But with that, of course, we get a ton of drops really fast. So let's check out these chests and see what we got. So it's still coming in, but like we've got, lots of stems here, lots of word blocks, more and more and more. And I think that's probably it for right now. But not bad. I mean, just running it for about a minute. We've got, let's dump it in the end here. So that's not bad. Yeah, third of a chest of warp stems already, just from like a minute of AFKing. I think I can handle that. That is a rate that I can go with, considering that my storage only has, I believe, 4 double chests worth of space, and just AFKing here for under 10 minutes. I'm already almost full. So yeah, that's ridiculous. So we can, stock a farm very easily, or stock a shop very easily with that. And even with these warped wart blocks, say that 5 times fast. I probably should end up using a system to compost this stuff down, because we do get a lot of it, and I don't tend to use a lot of this. And honestly, anything that I will need for building, running this farm for a little bit, and then just manually taking out the top part right there, is probably going to be more than enough for any of the needs I have. So this way we can recompose that back down, and that'll actually, I think the estimate he said was about 60% of the bone meal needed for the farm. It'll go back into the system, so that'll reduce the amount of bone meal that we need. I mean, not that it really matters, because this thing is a beast as well. I mean, all of these are a beast. They're all beast farms. And I love them. I love all of them. I mean, this thing is fantastic. I really can't wait to not have to grind for materials anymore for this stuff. So I'm hoping, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to build that universal tree farm that I wanted to build in this episode, because we're running quite long as it is. But hopefully that one is as beastly as these other farms. So if you want to build this yourself, links are going to be down in the description. I highly recommend you check them out, because a lot of these redstoners out there, not really well known. There's a lot of Ilmangos and Razeworks level redstone designers out there. I mean, this guy right here, ncoylyer, just really dedicated to just nether tree farms. So it's just amazing the amount of work that goes into these farms. I have so much respect for it, considering that I tried myself to do a tree farm, and honestly, I don't have enough free time to do this and content creation and a day job all at once. So it's just, mad respect to them. So definitely go check out those farms. I recommend you build them yourself, because it's just insane. So check out those designs down below. And of course, with that, it's time to say goodbye for this episode. That's right, we're at the end. I want to thank you guys once again. We just hit 400 subscribers on the channel, so I'm super excited about that. We're only 100 away from being able to use those community features. Really looking forward to sharing all the different things that I'm working on, screenshots, polls. I want to get some more feedback from you guys, and be able to do that with those community polls. But really, it's 100% you guys that support this and keep me going. I love all the comments. I love reading everything, and I love your feedback. And I promise you, we have lots of cool stuff coming very soon. So, definitely subscribe if you're not yet. Like the video if you liked it, and safe travels, everyone. See you next time.